If your child is struggling with mental health, it's important to find a program that's the right fit for their individual needs. Dr. Kristi Kleinschmit is here with tips for parents. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thanks so much for having me today.
This topic is so important, especially for me. I was one of these kids with anxiety. So let's talk about what are some of the common signs of a child who has an anxiety disorder.
Yeah, so today I'm just going to talk about sort of elementary school aged kids because it looks a little different the younger the child is. So some common signs that parents can keep an eye out for. So kids don't say like I'm nervous or worried about things, but instead they sort of have it in their behavior. And so pretty normal to be worried about, like earthquakes or robbers or such. But if kids don't get reassured by parents saying, we lock our doors or we have a plan for that, and if they can't stop thinking or talking about it, that could be one sign. Other signs that kids can sometimes do is avoidance of things that might be hard or anxiety inducing. So like avoiding going to school, avoiding going to like big family events because they get kind of nervous about that. And then kids tend to have like stomach aches or headaches or can just be kind of irritable and tense, and they don't really have the words to describe like why they're kind of on edge when they come home from school or why they sort of are a little bit snappy when you ask them to do extra things. But all of those can be some warning signs that kids are having an issue with anxiety. And really I think the times that it's the worst is if it's starting to impact their functioning, right? And so if they're like not going to school, if they're so irritable that you're having an impact on like how happy your family is together, those can be signs to parents that maybe something else is going on.
Okay, so what can parents do to help these kids who have anxiety?
Yeah, I mean, I think first just notice and sort of think about the fact that, hey, maybe something else is making my child irritable, or maybe they're just not being oppositional by refusing to go to school. I think labeling things like, wow, it looks like you're feeling really, I don't know, nervous or worried, or you're having a really hard time. So I think just labeling it and acknowledging it is one thing. Another thing is to not support the anxiety, and so if kids want to avoid, don't let your kids avoid, right? Like help them face their fears. Don't just say like, buck up and do it, but like, hey, this looks like it's really hard. Let's practice doing some deep breaths. Let's talk about doing it. Let's do some rehearsing. Maybe we drive to school and just look at the school and sort of find some way to like empower the kids to be able to face their fears.
So what are some other resources and treatments that are available to kids who have anxiety?
Yeah, so I think first off, if you're worried about it, you can go see your primary care doc and just sort of talk it through with them. And then if it seems like they're having an issue with anxiety, searching for a therapist, an individual therapist that can help them do some anxiety therapy, a psychiatrist who can help prescribe medications if the anxiety is bad enough and the therapy isn't working. And then finally, if it's so bad that it's impacted their function, there are some really wonderful day treatment programs is what they're called. We have a couple at Huntsman Mental Health Institute, Teen Scope and Kids Star, that can be really helpful in going every day and getting some more intensive therapy to help with anxiety.
There you go. These have been great tips, especially because school is starting. It's right around the corner. You want to start your kids off on the right foot.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, a lot of times parents just really don't recognize that kids are anxious because it just looks so different. It's like frequent illnesses, it's irritability, it's just not saying like, well, I'm really nervous about this, Mom.
Well, you've given us great tips, so we know if our child is suffering with this. For more information, you can check out the website and the phone number at the bottom of the page. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks so much. I really had a great time.